First series of games done and dusted. What would your assessment be if you were to give us a grade? And what would you grade us?
Um, maybe a C plus. I'd say lots of room for improvement. You know, six draws in there. There's a lot of those games that we felt we could have turned into wins and ultimately more points. And would see us maybe higher up the table. But on the flip side of that, defensively we've good records, and we haven't been losing games, which is an important trait. And yeah, I think look, we've gelled well up to now, and we kind of hope to kick that on now into the second round of games.
You mentioned the draws. I think if you look back, Bows, Shells, and Rovers probably the ones that, when in hindsight, we probably should have won those
Yeah, and
games.
even like Derry, I know I've set the pace this year, but we've gone ahead twice in the game. And you just think, just a bit more composure and a bit more of clear mind in the last kind of 15, 20 minutes, and you go on and win the game. And I think there's a few occasions of that where mistakes on our own part have led to goals that have also ultimately cost us two extra points in the game. So it's the big thing from the first round of games where you definitely like turn some of those draws into wins, and even forfeit. If you forfeit though a win or two or a draw or two up for a loss, and get a few wins on the board, you're much better off points wise. So,
Mm.
um, so yeah,
The main positives, to say, five clean sheets, and I was looking. The last goal we conceded from open play was against Bows and Dalymount. It's been a great run, and I think Nathan's got a lot of plaudits this week for the saves against Pats last week. How do you think he's done for a new lad coming into the league?
yeah, brilliant. I think his only mistake that I can think of to date is the Shell's penalty, and his reaction off the back of that has been phenomenal. He was great in the Shamrock Rovers game, and obviously against Pats there, he was phenomenal. And it's probably was the one game where we've drawn, and you're thinking, well, maybe we've come away lucky on that occasion, and we can hold our hands up and say that Nathan is the reason for that. So he's been phenomenal, and as a back four, I think obviously you've seen comparisons to last year and the records and stuff. So it's definitely been a much better start on that part.
Is that obviously takes a lot of work, because, as you say, Mark Conley's new to the league, Lewis McCarry's new to the league, Sam Bone is new to the club, Andy Boyle didn't have a pre-season, Darrell Lee's only back, a couple of weeks, but it seems no matter. Brian Gartland obviously is back as well, so it seems no matter who plays, there seems to be a really solid base there.
Yeah, no, it's there's good depth there in the squad as a whole, and obviously, as you said, we've had injuries, so it's impressive, the record to date, given where we struggled on that part. But I mean, look, I think they'd be the first to say it as well. It's a collective unit. It's a big. We want to press. We want to stop teams from being able to hold on to the ball and hold on to possession. And as a unit, we all need to work hard and to make sure that we can win the ball back as quickly as possible and ultimately stop them having chances.
Is it just now about getting the balance defensively? We seem good. Is it just now about doing a little bit more going forward?
Yeah, not compromising your attacking play with, being too defensive minded, and vice versa. It's important to get the balance right, and I think the gaffer and the management have isolated areas where they feel we can be better in both departments, and we've really worked on that. So, I think we're confident going into the second round of fixtures that we can kick on and generate more wins than we have done in the first round of games.
Yeah. You look at the table ahead of Friday. We're a point behind Sligo. Win takes us into the top four. It's so congested, isn't it? That sort of Derry have obviously set the pace, but behind that, it's so congested. And a couple of wins, and you could end up in a very high position.
Yeah, I think it's something I would have always said with a small league like ours. If you go on 3 or 4 win streak, you really do climb the table, and where it might look like Derry are out ahead leading the pack, which they obviously are, but that's not as big as a gap as it can look, especially when teams can take points off anyone. You saw UCD last week taking points off Sligo, and there's no easy game in the league, and especially if a team goes one up, like it's difficult to claw games back. So Yeah, it's definitely a tight league, and look, we feel confident that we can pull a run together,
Yeah.
and really soar up the table.
It was a tough game against Sligo at the showgrounds earlier in the season. Have you noticed in that game? Did you notice a bit of a difference in sort of the Sligo Liam Buckley teams you would have played in the past? A bit more physical, a bit more direct.
Yeah, I mean, I think for anyone who's at the game or watched the game, the big talking point was the pitch when we played down there. So look, we'll know we'll have a better surface to play on tomorrow night in terms of a consistent manner. It's hard to take much out of the previous game against Sligo. It was a bit tit for tat,
Mm.
and it could have gone either way. Another one of those draw games where I think I've even had a big chance in the game where when you score a goal and you go ahead, and that could be it. So it could be a similar game tomorrow night. They're always a difficult team. They're structured well. They're well set up, and hopefully we can go out and get the first goal and kick on from there.
And it's the start of a busy weekend, Easter weekend. Obviously, Sligo on Friday, and then Easter Monday up to Tala for Rovers.
Yeah, it's no Friday Monday off
No,
for us anyway.
no.
But no, look, it's. I think we relish those games when they come thick and fast. Big occasions really to play in, and yeah, look, we can only take it one game at a time. It's important that we go into Friday and come out with a win. And really put us in a good place then for Monday and the games following.
And three consecutive Friday night games at Oriel, Greg. We've had a couple of Monday night games, which I think everybody would acknowledge it's not the same as Friday night. We could build a real head of steam going into next month if we can pick up results here.
Yeah, look, you've seen a record even towards the back end of last year, and early signs suggest the same again this year when we're playing in front of the home fans. We feel it, and it really drives us all on. And fingers crossed we can have the same sort of turnouts on Friday nights coming up ahead. Because they're all vital games for us now.
Yeah.
In terms of how we progress in the league.
Finally, from your own point of view, you enjoying it? Enjoying the season?
Yeah, loving it. I think there's a real competitive drive amongst the squad. Everybody's gelled well together. There's great characters in and around the place. Training is a joy every day, and yeah, we really want to see, because we've worked really hard in training, and the standard has been so high, and we want to see that really come out in games. Um, to now we feel like it hasn't paid dividends like we think it can, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to really putting that proper and making it right, and driving us on for the season. Yeah.
Yeah, and finally, it's a cliche, and it's overused, but a good atmosphere and a good mentality in the group, but the genuinely does. Stevie's put together a real sort of close knit group. A lot of new lads, but these are all integrated and all together. It's encouraging to see.
Yeah, and look, it just really makes you excited to come in and train and talk football and live it every day. You know what I mean? It really, like, to have that desire to come in and work hard is something that can be hard to get amongst a group of players if the atmosphere isn't right, and it definitely is feeling right now. So long may it continue, and hopefully we can drive on and have a successful year.